Animals are composed of many cells. A cell is, of course, the basic unit of structure and function in living things. The cells of most animals are organized into higher levels of structure, including tissues, organs, and systems. A group of similar cells that perform a specific function is called a tissue. One type of tissue is nerve tissue, which carries messages in the form of electrical signals from one part of the body to another. Another type of tissue is bone tissue, a hard tissue that gives bones strength. Tissues may combine to form an organ, which is a group of several different tissues. For example, a frog's thigh bone is composed of bone tissue, nerve tissue, and blood. An organ performs a more complex function than each tissue could perform alone. Groups of structures that perform the broadest functions of an animal are called systems. One example of a system is the skeletal system of a frog shown here in the image. Let's now look at the functions of animals. From tiny worms to giant whales, animals are diverse. Animals vary not only in size, but also in body structure, outward appearance, and the environments in which they live. Despite their diversity, however, all animals carry out the same basic functions. The major functions of animals are to obtain food and oxygen, keep internal conditions stable, move, and reproduce. Structures or behaviors that allow animals to perform these basic functions in their environments are called adaptations. Now let's take a look at how animals obtain food and oxygen. An animal can't make food for itself. It obtains food by eating other organisms. Animals might feed on plants, other animals, or even a combination of plants and animals. They have adaptations that allow them to eat particular kinds of food. For example, the tarantula shown in this image has an adaptation called fangs, structures it uses to pierce other animals and suck up their juices. Food provides animals with raw materials for growth and with energy for their body's activities, such as breathing and moving. Most animals take food into a cavity inside their bodies. Inside this cavity, the food is digested or broken down into substances that the animal's body can then absorb and use. To release energy from food, the body's cells need oxygen. Some animals, like birds, get oxygen from the air, while others, like fish, get their oxygen directly from the water. One of the other functions of an animal is being able to keep conditions stable. How do they do that? Well, animals must maintain a stable environment within their bodies, and if this balance is lost, the animal can't survive for very long. For example, cells that get too hot start to die. Therefore, animals in hot environments are adapted, meaning they have adaptations that help keep their bodies cool. Earthworms stay in moist soil during hot days, and lizards crawl to shady places, and dogs pant. The third function is movement, and all animals move in some way at some point in their lives. Most animals move freely from place to place throughout their lives, for example, by swimming, walking, or hopping. Other animals, such as oysters and barnacles, move from place to place only during the earliest stages of their lives. After that, they find a good place to attach, and then these animals stay in one place. Animal movement is usually related to meeting the basic needs of survival and reproduction. Barnacles wave these feathery structures through the water and trap tiny food particles. Some geese fly thousands of miles each spring to the place where they lay eggs. And you've probably seen a cat claw its way up a tree trunk to escape from a barking dog. The fourth and last function is reproduction. And because no individual animal lives forever, animals must reproduce. Most animals reproduce sexually. Sexual reproduction is the process by which a new organism develops from the joining of two sex cells, a male sperm cell and a female egg cell. The joining of an egg cell and a sperm cell is called fertilization. Sperm and egg cells carry information about the characteristics of the parents that produced them, such as size and color. New individuals resulting from sexual reproduction have a combination of characteristics from both parents. Some animals can reproduce asexually as well as sexually. Now, asexual reproduction is the process by which a single organism produces a new organism identical to itself. For example, animals called sea anemones sometimes split down the middle, producing two identical organisms.